Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trey Bush here. I'm literally watching this. I'm like, hey, check out the wig that I'm wearing. I got the hat on. Anyway, checking in with you guys. I thought I've got my dad and some friends in town from Atlanta coming over for dinner tonight. Thought we'd open up an older wine. It's 15 years old now, 2009 Levitation. This was Lewis. This is a very hot vintage, riper in style, I think, than we are making wines today. But I think it's a good representation of wines from that vintage. It's just not like we tried to pick it early and try to make a wine that, it's like, it's part of representing each vintage anyway, right? Like you should be able to tell us from a cool vintage or a hot vintage. So I think we did a pretty good job with it. It's 14.7 alcohol. Just popped it open about 15 minutes ago. Still incredible color. Hardly any bricking at all. It's a little more translucent on the edge than probably when it was a bit younger. But that being said, it's still classic Levitation. That Lewis fruit is just so dark, and for that matter, Les Killeen too. Those wines just end up being just inky black. Lewis, because it's a cooler site, high elevation, and typically fairly small clusters and small berries, and so you just get that intense concentration. And Les Killeen, almost identical. It's also high elevation, probably a similar elevation actually to each other. I think Les Killeen gets a little more rainfall, and the season is just a little different. It's probably a little bit warmer in the summertime at Les Killeen than it is at Lewis. So, but they typically pick off around each other. I think Les Killeen will pick off before Lewis in most vintages. Anyway, this wine is smelling awesome. Holly and I kind of stuck our nose in this thing earlier, and I was getting like a cinnamon hot candy. Those are like on the nose, just a really spicy, red fruited nose. Fruit is still very primary. I'm really not getting any secondary characteristics. Sometimes as Syrahs age, you get more of those sort of bloody, meaty notes that come out, more savory aspect. And with this wine right now, I'm not getting any savory. I feel like this wine is still an infant. It easily has another 15 years ahead of it. And so, which is super exciting because a lot of times hotter vintages, a little lower acidity, higher pHs, higher alcohols, those wines, they may not age that well. But this one's aging beautifully. Lewis is always fairly bright in acid, which kind of counterbalances. Les Killeen typically is a high pH, medium acid site. Now you can get Les Killeen off early and capture it with quite a bit of acidity, but I think in this vintage, I'm sure we were picking 25 to 25 and a half bricks. And I think today our norm is more like 23 and a half, 24 at the most, if we can get it off in time. So anyway, 09 Levitation. If you've got these in your cellar, I would decant this probably for like 30 minutes to an hour. If you're going to open it now. But if you've got a bunch in your cellar, don't be afraid to let them go a little more, pop one every other year or something like that, kind of see how it's progressing. So we may have some of this in our library for sale. So I say that. So if you are interested in trying this wine, shoot me an email, Trey at SofHcellars.com. Trey at SofHcellars.com. And I will, Keith and I will go through our library wines and we'll see what vintages we actually have. I think we have a little 09. It may be 12 bottles or 24 bottles, something like that. But yeah, well, if we can make it available, I'd love for you guys to try it. It's in a great spot. And yeah, cheers. Happy Sunday. Happy Spring Release Weekend for everybody who came out. Thank you so much for supporting us at the winery. We had a great time on Friday, Saturday, and today. And at the concert last night, if you were able to make the Love Cats concert, it was just So much fun. Everybody was dancing, listening to all those awesome Cure songs. Lots of great wine was had. We actually sold out of a couple of wines, so I apologize for that. I had no idea how much people would be drinking, that's for sure. I thought we brought enough. Anyway, thanks again for coming out, and we'll check in with you soon with another wine. Bye.